everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about seasons. We're going to talk about color matching based on seasons. If you have no idea what I'm talking about with seasons, then stay tuned. By the way, if you're new here, hi! Welcome, my name is Em, or Emelise, but everybody calls me Em, and you are watching Makeup Read. If this is your first time here and you want to come back and hang out again with me in the future, please be sure to click that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and also leave me a nice comment. Let's have a chat in the those things below, you know, comments. There we go. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about seasons. I had no idea what seasons meant. I've been seeing it pop up on YouTube and Pinterest and Instagram, blah, blah, blah. One of the things that I've noticed in my feed is a lot of these stylists who recommend styling yourself based on seasons will go and take celebrity photos and they will say, here's a celebrity dressed for the wrong season. In other words, they're not wearing colors that are complementary to their skin tones, their undertones, their hair color, etc. Even their hair color and makeup can really affect how they look. Some people look deadly. Some people look a little ruddy, maybe a little meh. And then if you get the right makeup, it looks fabulous. So these stylists kind of pulled me in with some of these celebrity pictures and I was like, oh, her not having platinum hair and switching to caramel, that looks amazing on her. Okay, there must be something to the seasons thing. Like, there's got to be something about it that's actually working because it's popular. So I decided to do a quiz on 30somethingurbangirl.com. I'll have it linked below, where it's free quiz. What is your seasonal color palette? And then you answer a series of questions and you kind of pick the pictures that you think best represent how you look. The thing is though, sometimes these pictures are not quite representative of how you think you look compared to how you actually look, especially in summer versus winter, because I'm super pale during the winter, but in the summer months I get a nice little tan depending on how often I'm out in the sun. I have a nice tan going on now. You might not think so. Of course, I have a ring light on, which is gonna wash me out, so yeah. I decided to take this quiz, and my results were deep autumn. I thought that was interesting because autumn is my most favorite season ever. And the color tones that they recommended for me to wear are tones that I actually do like on me anyway. So I thought, okay, there's gotta be something to this. For makeup, they suggest that I use palette colors for my eyes, lips, and nails, foundation, blusher, and all that. It should be peachy and gold undertones, and I can use bronzer, but they tell me to avoid pink blush. I have an issue with that. I like pink blush. I think it makes me look youthful, but I guess it's also about the kind of tone you use too. The jewelry I should wear should be gold, bronze, and copper. I don't disagree. I don't really like silver on me, so that makes sense. But they don't mention rose gold. I wonder if rose gold is supposedly flattering. Who knows? My style is natural and dramatic. I have a little flair for some drama here. Now here's where we get real interesting. The basic neutral colors for me are cream, navy, dark chocolate, and black brown. I was like, yes, absolutely. My most favorite color to wear that I think looks most flattering on me is navy blue. It also adds in this whole color story, but they're all jewel tones, which if you know anything about me and my style and my love of color, I love jewel tones. It has emerald green and kind of mulberry colors, crimsons, even like a deep violet shade, and bright warm orange, and even like a warm mustardy kind of yellow, which I was like, yes, I like yellow. Yellow on me has to be a very specific tone. These colors, yeah, like that makes sense for me. And then it tells me to avoid cool, bright, and dusty colors, gray, pink, and lilac. I love the color lilac. I don't like it on me. It makes me look death, like death. Light pinks, especially if they're more on that cool tone, just make me look really orange. I look like an Oompa Loompa, or I look like someone else that shall not be named. Grays make me look sick, although I do have one gray shirt that I wear all the time, but I always look back when I film in it and I'm like, ooh girl, you look a little aged. Even though it's a super cute shirt, it's gray. It's not my most flattering, but it's comfy, you know? So anyway, I thought that was the longest-winded way of me saying today I am going to do a makeup look based on my season. Let's get zoomed in. I'm wearing black and white, So obviously I have a lot of wiggle room to play. I think today I'm going to use the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. Sorry, it's no longer available, but it has a wide array of the kinds of colors that fit this theme. And there's some jewel tone blues that would be nice, some kind of warmer pinks, this orangey tone. I think we can create a nice deep autumn look. Let's get into it. Eye primer. Let's do brows. They say dark brown, black is good. I'm just gonna use whatever works and looks good on me already. Ta-da! And let there be brows. So I think what I'm gonna do today is one of my all-time favorite color combos, gold and green. They say that olive green, emerald, hunter, and timber are also good green colors for me. The Metropolis palette has kind of timber kind of green here. That is stunning. And then it's got kind of a mid-tone martini olive kind of green. So these two colors apparently are gonna, well, maybe not this one. I'm looking at this one like, I don't think this is the right kind of olive. I think it needs to be a deeper olive. So let's not do that one. But I think I am gonna use this deep green. And then there's this copper tone right here, kind of coppery orange tone. So maybe I'll do something with these two, because they're complementary. I think that could look nice. And then do gold, because gold is always a nice color for me. I like gold on me. And it already says gold jewelry is good, so if we do like the sparkly golds in this palette, maybe that'll count as eye jewelry. I'm having fun already. I'm gonna go in with the lightest, kind of more neutral tone, which is this one here. I'm going to just apply that into the crease. With any depth, you do need something to help transition that. This makes it a nice soft transition without having to pull that color up and try to blend out a harsh deep color. It's always better to blend a softer color than it is to blend a darker color, not harder color. A little orangey, but that's okay. Let's go into that copper. I've used this particular one so many times and I love this eyeshadow. I think it's so pretty. I'm gonna just pop this in kind of the middle of the crease here. I'm not gonna take it into this inner corner. I'm also not gonna take it too far out, because if I do and I put that dark green here, it's gonna clash and it's not gonna blend as nicely. But I do want this warmth here in the crease, and I'm gonna pull it up above my eyebrow bone a little bit, just to kind of soften everything as I go. So far, what do you think? Does this color work for me? So I'm going to borrow a mustard kind of shade from another palette. This one was a limited edition palette, so I apologize, but I do need kind of a deeper mustard shade. I'm going to go into the same brush and use that here. And I'm going to kind of pull this into this inner corner area. And this will be a nice transition into the golds. I'm also going to take it on the outer corner of the eye here and just kind of use that to transition that orange a little bit for the green. So you kind of see I'm creating kind of like an orange sandwich in a way. So that mustard shade is kind of out here, sandwiching it here and here. So pop a little bit here. I'm going to kick it around the crease and that curvature of the eyelid. I'm going to blend this all across the lid now. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be fully opaque. I don't want opaque. I plan to put other shadows over the top, but this just kind of helps soften every edge. So now it's very hazy. So this one's from that same palette I just used, the Hallo-Bean one. This one is from the Metropolis palette. I am going to use both of these shades because I want a matte deep green, and I think that hunter green would be really pretty on this outer corner. To do that, I'm going to take a flat shading brush and I'm just going to kind of dip into this just ever so slightly. Tap, 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 tap. Get a little bit on the brush, and then again, tap off any excess, because any fallout of this deep color is really going to be sad. So I'm going to kind of flip my hand so I can pull the brush this way and have a little bit more control over where this color goes. And just kind of feather it inward. And I'm going to keep that color just there on that outer corner. I'm going to flip the brush on the head here and just kind of use it to line the bottom lash line a little bit too, so it's connected. And I'll just kind of tappity tap a little bit more just to soften any harshness going into that crease. But I'm not going to worry about blending it just yet. I'm right now just trying to lay down the color. And it helps if you keep your eye as open naturally as possible so that you can make sure they line up. One of the things that I find most difficult when I'm applying a deeper outer corner shade is sometimes they don't match. If I have to turn my head and look in the mirror in a weird angle, I try to make sure I keep my eye as naturally open as possible so that way I can see where the color is going and also make sure that there's consistency in the shaping and just get a little bit of that excess off. Now I'm going to go in with that deep emerald shade here, which has shimmer to it, and let's just swipe that on and kind of shimmy it out towards that outer corner and just kind of let those colors blend together. And then if there's any patchiness in that deeper shadow, I can just use this to kind of tap over and help patch that up a little bit. So this probably looks a little scary right now. Yes. Now I'm going to take a smaller domed fluffy brush like this that's perfectly clean, absolutely no product on it. Now I'm going to start blending in this crease line, just making sure everything is smooth. There's no really harsh lines there. And I'm noticing that these two colors are not blending together as nicely as I would hope. So I'm just going to keep using my brush to kind of soften it, and I might just go back over the top with another green just to kind of tap it over, because I noticed that some of the eyeshadow is kind of fading away. It's not blending out, it's just like disappearing. And kind of soften this up here. So with all the green here in the center, I'm just going to kind of like pat it towards the inner corner of the eye, but I'm not going to blend it all the way through. I'm not going to make it look really smooth because I'm going to put gold over the top of that. I am going to go back in with that mustard shade from before, this one here. Use a different brush and just kind of apply a little bit here on this outer edge just to smooth this out a little bit more. Try to get some of this to not look so patchy. Unfortunately, that combo of eyeshadows did not work so great for me, but that's okay. I'm going to go back in and just apply a little bit more of that deep green on the outer corner, just slightly, to kind of marry that mustard and that green back together. Not my best blending work, but it'll do. We have a couple of different kind of gold tones. This one's the warmest gold I have in this palette. It's more of like a coppery gold. So I think this is going to be a good bet for me for this eye look, and just pat it. Oh my gosh, it's very orangey, but I think this will be really pretty here on the center of the lid, and just kind of pat it and then use a clean finger to keep patting. And just kind of shimming it out just a slight bit here on this outer area, but not taking it into that outer crease area because I don't want sparkle there. And then just kind of shimmy it in the inner corner. And then I am going to take this lighter, brighter gold color here. I'm going to flip my brush over to the clean side, and I'm going to use this just in the inner tear duct and just kind of finish this inner corner up. Trying to make sure I don't get any of that green in this inner corner. Alright, everything's cleaned up. I've done concealer and all that jazz. For under the eye, I'm going to take that copper tone again and just apply a little bit for good measure. And then I will do some liner. I'm not going to go too heavy on the eyeliner. I'm going to use a Pacifica one. This one is in brown. The quiz suggests that I use like a black brown, and this is as close to that as I can get without it being too black and too dark. So I'm just applying a little bit here on this outer corner on the bottom and just kind of dragging that inward. That's why I wasn't too worried about the copper tone kind of going in a weird spot. I'm going to do a slight wing here, just a little flick. You can't really see it though against that deep green. So I think it is situational. In this case, I would want black, and my eyes are so dark that I feel like black's fine for me anyway. But they were cautioning against using black because it could be too harsh. But for me, I'm like, I have dark hair anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I have dark eyes, does it really matter? Lashes are on. I don't wear falsies, so I'm not going to bother with that. But so far, what do you think of the eye look? It's definitely a bit heavier than I would maybe wear on the daily, but I wanted to really emphasize the kinds of tones that they say would look best on my deep autumn. Now, it says in the guides various guides that I've seen online that wearing a bronzer is always recommended. You can never go wrong with wearing a bronzer. Now, I beg to differ when it comes to bronzer because bronzers can be too orange, they could be too yellow, or they could be too red. This one is one that always looks good on me regardless. It's a little bit shimmery. It's Park Avenue Princess from Tarte, but it's a good classic. I love this particular bronzer on myself, so I am gonna bronze up just a little bit here, just to add a little bit more depth to my cheeks, especially since I'm not wearing foundation. I'm only wearing concealer, and I find that when I add other products like blush and bronzer, that it just kind of helps make my skin look a little bit more flawless, even though I'm not flawless. It's a little bit and then a little bit there. Now moving on to blush. It says that peachy coral tones are the most flattering for us, and I don't disagree. In fact, those are the colors that I wear a lot of. It's my favorite on me, so I don't disagree with that at all. I am going to try a new to me blush though. This one I've only swatched on my finger. That's Ariza Beauty. I think I got this in an Ipsy bag. Malibu Sunrise Ombre Blusher. I'm going to focus a little bit more on this peachy tone here and apply that here and blend up, and then I might go in with Milani's Luminoso blush because I love that blush. It's got that coral peachy tone to it, but it's got glow to it. Ooh, this has a little bit of kick up. Ooh, that's very pigmented. A little more pigmented than I had anticipated, but it's pretty. I like that. I thought this was going to be more matte than it is. So you're getting kind of a first impression with me. Some of that shimmer is kind of like standing out like a sore thumb here where I would not normally want to apply blush, but I decided to go a little ham with it today because why not? I feel a little pale. Let's do some highlighter. Golds and coppers are what it says. So I have this kind of like light golden highlighter on this side here that I'm going to just shimmy across the top of the cheekbones. A little too much highlight, but whatever. I like this highlighter regardless of it being a little like alien-like. And for good measure, let's just pop a little bit here. Just like brightening this inner corner up, and I think that looks really pretty. They suggest that a nude lip looks best on us deep autumns, and I like a nude lip, but nude's boring. So let's do color. Let's do something in the color story they recommend. So they say crimsons, which I didn't want to do with this eye look because I think it would look a little too much. But they also say boysenberry. So I have a lip liner from NYX. This one is called Dark Soul. I love the name. I'm gonna line the lips just slightly with this, and then I'm gonna take a lip stain and kind of blot that over and do a lip gloss to kind of finish it up. The lip stain I'm going to use is from e.l.f. Berry Blush. I will say and recommend that if you use this kind of a product on your lip, you hydrate and exfoliate. I've hydrated, but I forgot to exfoliate the lips, so they're a little textured. Kind of blend together, and then I'm going to blot. You can see where it's a little patchy because of the lip texture problem. Alright, let's take a lip gloss and apply that over the top and just kind of clean it up a little bit. This is going against the rules a little bit because it is pink, but blend it out together a little bit, kind of softens it a little bit, and I think it kind of brings it back to that boysenberry tone. This is like very dark academia, very deep autumn inspired look. It's like everything fall, not just the season bit, but also the makeup is very fall, dark academia. So hashtag all of that stuff. And now we have a dark autumn inspired look based on the color palette of a dark autumn season tone. I'm not sure what I think of it. I mean, there's certain things about it that I absolutely agree with. Like I love peachy coral tones on my skin for blush. That's my go-to when I just want to look naturally flushed. For jewel tones, absolutely, I do love a good jewel tone. For lips, I mean, probably not so much for this eye makeup look, but I wanted to demonstrate that boysenberry. Boysenberry I think is a nice color on me, but I definitely think crimson's better, especially with my teeth. What do you think? Do I look like a clown? Do you think this color story compliments me? Have you actually gone through and done the season color matching professionally? If you have, leave a comment below and let me know, because I would love to know your experience with that. If it's worthwhile, if you think it's helped you with your style, your makeup, all those choices, etc. Should I go do it professionally at some point in my life? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay electric as always. Mwah. Bye!